Alright, we're on 2 Samuel chapter 17. Moreover, Ahithophel said to Absalom, let me now choose out of 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after David this night. And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-headed, and I will make him afraid, and all the people that are with him shall flee. And I will smite the king only, and I will bring back all the people unto thee. The man whom thou seest is as if all return, so all the people shall be in peace. Let me turn that over here. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Israel. When Absalom called now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spoke unto him, saying, Ahithophel has spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his sayings? If not, speak thou. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel that Ahithophel hath given is not good at this time. For say Hushai, thou knowest thy father, and his men, that they may be mighty men, and they be chief in their minds, as a bear robbeth of her whips in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is hid now in the same pit, or in some other place. And it will come to pass, when some of them be overthrown at the first, and whatsoever heareth it will say, there is a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom. And he also that is vigilant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, shall utterly melt. For all of Israel knoweth that thy father is a mighty man, and they which be with him are valiant men. Therefore I counsel that all of Israel be generally gathered unto thee, from Dan even to Bathsheba, as the sand that is by the sea for multitudes, and that thou go to battle in thine own person. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall find, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground. And of him and of all the men that are with him there shall not be left so much as one. Moreover, if he be gotten into a city, then shall all of Israel bring ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the river until there be not one small stone found there. And Absalom and all the men of Israel said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For the Lord appointed to defend the good counsel of Ahithophel, to the intent that the Lord might bring evil upon Absalom. Then said Hushai to Zadok, to Thor the priest, thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Israel, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly, and tell David, saying, lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, for speedily pass over, lest the king be swallowed up, and all the people that were with him. Now Jonathan and Ahimaaz stayed by in Rogel, for they might not be seen to come into the city, and which went and told them, and they went and told King David. Nevertheless, Ali saw them, and told Absalom, but they went both of them away quickly, and came to a man's house in Bahurim, which had a well in his court, whither they went down. And the woman took and spread a covering over the well's mouth, and spread a round corn thereon, and the thing was not known. Sounds like a good old plot to me. And when Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house, they said, Where is Ahimaaz and Jonathan? And the woman said unto them, They be gone over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem. And it came to pass, after they were departed, that they came up out of the well, and went and told King David, and said unto David, Arise, and pass quick over the water, for thus has Ahithophel counseled against you. Then David arose, and all the people that were with him, and they passed over Jordan by the morning light. Were like not one of them that was not gone over Jordan. And when Ahithophel, I wish I could say these names, saw that the counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass, and arose, and got him home to his house, to his city, and put the household in order, and hanged himself, and died, and was buried at the sepulchre of his father. Then David came to Mahanaim, and Absalom passed over Jordan, he and all the men of Israel with him. And Absalom made Amasa captain of the host instead of Joab, which Ahimaaz was a man's son, whose name was Ithor, an Israelite, that went into Abigail, the daughter of Nahash, sister to Zerah, Joab's mother. So Israel and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead. And it came to pass, when David was come to Mahanaim, that Shobab, the son of Nahash of Reba, of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Ammon of El Debor, and Barzillai, the Granite of Rodzim, brought bread and basin, and eastern vessels, and wheat, and barley, and flour, and parched corn, and beans, and lentils, and parched pulse, and honey, and butter, and sheep, and cheese of kine, for David, and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, The people was hungry, and weary, and thirsty in the wilderness. Alright, we're on 18. And David numbered the people that were with him, and set captains over thousands, and captains over hundreds over them. And David sent forth a third part of the people under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishi, the son of Zorah, Joab's brother, and the third part under the hands of Ittai the Gileadite. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you, myself also. But the people answered, Thou shalt not go forth, for if we flee away, they will not care for us, neither if half of us die. Will they care for us? But now thou art were 10,000 of us. Therefore now it is better that thou escort us out of the city. And the king said unto them, That seemeth you best, I will do. And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people came out by hundreds and by thousands. That sounds like the Exodus, doesn't it? And the king commanded Joab and Ashabai and Ittai, saying, Deal gently for my sake with the young men, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom. So the people went out into the field against Israel, and the battle was in the woods of Ephraim. Where the people of Israel were slain before the servants of David, and there was there a great slaughter that day of 20,000 men. For the battle was there scattered over all the face of the country, and the wood devoured more people that day than the sword devoured. And Absalom met the servant of David, and Absalom rode upon a mule, and the mule went under the thick brought of the great oak, and his head caught hold of the oak, and he was taken up between the heavens and the earth. And the mule that was under him went away. So, in other words, it's like there was a V shape in the tree, and he went right through it. And a certain man saw it and told Joab, and said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanging in the oak. And Joab said unto the man that told him, And behold, thou showest him, and why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? And I could have given thee 10 shekels of silver and a griddle. And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 shekels of silver in my hand, yet would I not put forth my hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee and Abishai and Hittite, saying, Beware that none touch the young man Absalom. Wow. Otherwise I should have wrought falsehood against my own life. For there is no manner hid from the king, and thyself wouldst have set thyself against me. He's saying, if I'd have done that, you would have told the king that I'd done that. You wouldn't have gave me nothing. And Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee. And he took 3 darts in the hand, and thrust them through the heart of Absalom, while he was yet alive in the midst of the oak. And 10 young men that bore Joab's armor compassed about and smote Absalom and slew him. And Joab blew the trumpet, and the people returned from pursuing after Israel, for Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom, and cast him into the great pit in the woods, and laid a very great heap of stone upon him. And all of Israel fled every one to his tent. Now Absalom, in his lifetime, had taken and reared up for himself a pillar, which is in the king's dial. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar after his own name, and it is called unto this day Absalom's place. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, Let me now run and bear the king's tidings, how that the Lord hath avenged him of his enemies. And Joab said unto him, Thou shalt not bear tidings this day, but thou shalt bear tidings another day. But this day thou shalt bear no tidings, because the king's son is dead. Then said Joab to Cushai, Go tell the king that thou hast seen. And Cushai bowed himself to Joab and ran. Then said Ahimaaz, the son of Zadok, yet again to Joab, But howsoever let me, I pray thee, also run after Cushai and Joab. Wherefore wilt thou run, my son, seeing that thou hast no tidings ready? But whosoever saith he, Let me run, and he said unto him, Run. Then Ahimaaz ran after the way of the plains, and overran Cushai. And David sat between the two gates, and the watchman went up to the roof over the gate and to the wall, and lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, a man running alone. And the watchman cried and told the king, and the king said, If he be alone, there is tidings in his mouth. And we came apiece and drew near. And the watchman saw another man running. And the watchman called unto the porter, and said, Behold, another man runneth alone. And the king said, He also bringeth tidings. And the watchman said, Methinketh the run of the foremost is like the running of Ahimaaz the son of Zadok. And the king said, He is a good man, and cometh with good tidings. And Ahimaaz saw that, said unto the king, All is well. And he fell down to the earth, and upon his face before the king, and said, Blessed be the Lord thy God, which has delivered up the men that lift up their hands against my lord the king. And the king said, Is the youth man Absalom safe? And Ahimaaz answered and said, Joab set the king's servant, and me thy servant, and I saw great trumpet, but I know not what it was. And the king said unto him, Turn aside and stand here. And he turned aside and stood still. And behold, Cushai came, and Cushai said tidings, My lord the king, for the Lord hath avenged thee this day of all them that rose up against thee. And the king said unto Cushai, Is the young man Absalom safe? And Cushai answered, The enemy of my lord, the king, and all that rises against thee, to do thee hurt, be as young man as is. And the king was much moved, and went up to the chamber over the gate, and wept. And as he went, thus he said, O my son Absalom, my son Absalom, would God I had died for thee, O Absalom, my son, my son. So the first guy told him a lie, and the second guy told him the truth. Alright, we're on 19, and we will do it tomorrow. Hugs and kisses.